Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to understanding the complex stories shaping our world. Today, we're diving deep into a recent seismic shift that has dramatically altered the landscape of Nepal.
Yeah, a nation really at the crossroads of South Asia.
Absolutely. Over just the past week, we've witnessed an extraordinary chain of events.
Mass protests that, escalated very quickly.
Significant political upheaval, and what many are already calling a truly historic turning point. So what lit the fuse? It seems it all began when tens of thousands of mostly young protesters,
Often called Nepal's Gen Z movement.
right, they flooded the streets, and their outrage wasn't over a traditional political dispute, surprisingly.
No, it was ignited by a government decision to ban major social media platforms.
We're talking Facebook, YouTube, X, the big ones.
Exactly.
And this wasn't seen as just some minor technical rule, was it?
Not at all. It was immediately perceived by citizens as a direct act of digital censorship.
And that perception just spiraled. Peaceful demonstrations turning into violent clashes with, stunning speed.
It happened incredibly fast.
The consequences, unfortunately, have been severe. High casualties, government buildings, including the very seat of parliament, attacked and burned.
A real breakdown of order.
And then there's this truly astonishing twist involving thousands of prisoners.
Which we definitely need to get into.
And a complete shakeup at the highest levels of political power. So our mission today is to really distill the most important nuggets from the sources you've shared. We want to help you understand not just what happened, but what it means for Nepal.
And the broader implications, too. How we understand modern political change in this, interconnected world.
Exactly. So let's start with that spark, the social media ban.
What's truly striking here is how a seemingly technical policy decision could act as such a powerful catalyst.
Right.
The government's stated intention was basically to compel these big tech companies to formally register locally within Nepal.
Which, on the surface, might sound bureaucratic, regulatory.
Yeah, maybe aimed at compliance, maybe collecting taxes,
But that's not how it landed.
No. For a significant chunk of the population, especially the youth, it immediately felt like a clear attempt to stifle free communication.
To control information flow.
Precisely. That perception of censorship, that seems to be the critical flashpoint here, regardless of the government's official line.
And it wasn't just a perception in a vacuum, right? You mentioned the Gen Z movement. Mm-hmm. For them, these platforms aren't just for sharing cat videos. They're primary forums for political talk, for civic engagement.
They're digital public square, essentially.
Yeah. So when that space is threatened, it's not just inconvenient, it feels existential.
It really does. It feels like a direct threat to their participation in society.
So how quickly did that digital frustration spill onto the streets?
Almost instantly. And that's incredibly telling, I think. Our sources highlight that for this generation, digital presence is civic presence. They've grown up with these tools.
They don't know a world without them, really.
Right. So any attempt to control them, even if it's framed as local registration, is seen as a direct threat. Freedom of expression, ability to organize.
It all feels linked.
Absolutely. This situation in Nepal just vividly illustrates how trying to regulate, or as many saw it, control the digital space can spark massive public anger.
Turning that simmering discontent into, very visible, very physical protests.
Yeah, this initial ban was the undeniable catalyst. It pushed tens of thousands onto the streets.
And then, tragically, it escalated into violence surprisingly fast.
It did, underscoring that for many, limiting digital access feels like limiting their voice, their freedom itself.
And once those peaceful protests turn violent, the consequences just become incredibly grave, incredibly fast.
Oh, definitely. It goes far beyond policy debates then.
There's a real human cost across society.
If we connect this to the broader impact, the human toll was just devastating.
What are the numbers looking like?
The unrest tragically resulted in at least 51 people killed.
51.
And that figure includes protesters, yes, but also police officers.
Trying to maintain order.
Exactly. And even prisoners who got caught in the chaos inside detention facilities.
Goodness.
And beyond the fatalities, over 1,300 people were injured. Many seriously.
So this wasn't just a localized clash, it was widespread.
Very widespread, impacting different segments of society, activists, law enforcement, ordinary citizens caught up in it.
Yeah.
It paints a grim picture of the severity.
And the speed of the escalation.
For sheer speed, yes. Shows how indiscriminate it became.
And the physical damage sort of mirrored that human cost, didn't it?
It did. Reports describe government buildings,
Including the federal parliament itself. the symbol of democratic governance.
That's right. Attacked and actually burned during the chaos.
That's such a visceral image, a destructive symbol of that breakdown of order, the depth of anger.
It truly is. But then, amidst all this, we also have this really stunning twist.
The prison break.
The prison break. This raises a really important question, I think. What does such widespread destruction and then a massive prison break signify?
Amidst all this upheaval.
Exactly. Our sources detail a truly unprecedented twist. More than 12,000 prisoners.
12,000?
More than 12,000 managed to escape from jails right across the country.
How is that even possible?
Well, it points to a profound and sudden collapse of state authority, of control at that critical moment.
During the peak of the unrest.
Yes. It's not just a logistical failure. It suggests a systemic vulnerability was just laid bare by the protests.
Creating immediate security challenges, obviously.
Huge security challenges, and adding this deep layer of complexity to the chaos raises serious concerns about immediate law and order, of course.
But also bigger questions, right?
Bigger questions about the fabric of society. What does it imply when institutional control can just disintegrate so rapidly under pressure?
It's a stark reminder of how fragile that balance can be.
Incredibly fragile, especially in a volatile environment.
So when you have that level of chaos, that public outrage, the pressure on the political leadership must be immense.
Unbearable, really.
And in this case, it seems that pressure was just too much for the sitting prime minister.
Indeed. The political fallout was immediate and it was significant.
All that pressure from the street, the violence, the prison breaks.
It all converged, ultimately leading to the resignation of Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli.
He'd been leading the ruling coalition, right?
Yes. But his government became increasingly untenable. They couldn't control the situation, couldn't appease the protesters.
So his resignation wasn't just like a minor shuffle. It was a direct consequence.
A powerful consequence, yeah.
Yeah.
A government losing its mandate from the people in a very visible way.
So in response, the president, he's the constitutional head of state.
Yeah.
He had to step in.
He had to act decisively, yes, to try and restore some semblance of order and figure out a path forward.
What does he do?
President Ramchandra Paudel took the pretty drastic step of dissolving parliament.
Which is a strong signal in itself.
A very strong signal of the gravity. It's a constitutional power for severe crises. Then he moved swiftly to appoint an interim government.
Okay, a transitional body.
Exactly. Tasked with maintaining essential functions, restoring order, and crucially, preparing the country for a return to, well, full democratic processes.
Guiding the nation through this volatile period.
Without making things worse, ideally.
And here's where it gets really interesting, I think, not just for Nepal, but globally. The interim leader,
Yes.
appointed to head this new government, is former Chief Justice Sushila Karki.
Sushila Karki.
Okay, this isn't just another political appointment. She's making history. Nepal's first female prime minister.
Wow, that's huge.
It's a monumental shift, especially when you think about global leadership, gender representation.
Absolutely. And her background as Chief Justice. That's significant too, isn't it?
Very significant. It signals perhaps an emphasis on rule of law, impartiality, maybe trying to rise above the political fray.
What's fascinating here is the symbolism, isn't it? And the potential impact.
In such a chaotic moment.
To select the nation's first female PM, especially one with that judicial background, it could be a deliberate signal.
Of what? Stability. Justice.
Maybe all of that. A commitment to stability, a renewed focus on justice, maybe a clear break from past political norms.
Which have often been very male-dominated there.
Right. So it raises this question, can this historic first also serve as a unifying force? Can it help bridge some of those deep divides that fueled the unrest?
That's the big question. And looking ahead.
National elections have now been scheduled, March 5, 2026.
So a little way off still.
Yes, which gives the interim government some time, but also a lot of pressure. Its immediate goals are huge. Restore order, start the healing process.
Reconciliation.
That too. And critically, ensure a fair, transparent, credible run-up to those elections.
That's going to be the ultimate test of Nepal's democratic resilience, I suppose.
Absolutely.
So after such an incredibly dramatic week, and with this interim government now in place, what's the feeling on the ground? Is it settling down?
Thankfully, our sources indicate that a relative calm is beginning to return.
Okay, that's good news.
Curfews in Kathmandu, which were imposed during the worst of it, they've been lifted. Daily life is resuming.
Shops reopen.
Shops are gradually reopening, yeah. There's a visible effort to return to some kind of normalcy.
There's always a but, isn't there?
There usually is.
Yeah.
And this is a crucial nuance. While the immediate chaos might be subsiding, the underlying tensions, they remain significantly high.
Right. The root causes haven't just vanished.
Exactly. The deeply entrenched issues that fueled these protests, issues that existed long before the social media ban, they're still there.
That's a really important distinction. It's not just about surface calm. It's what's still simmering.
Particularly among that younger generation that sparked this.
Right. For many Nepalists, especially the youth, this isn't just some brief episode they'll forget. They see this as a genuine turning point.
A line in the sand.
Yeah. And they're articulating very clear demands now. More transparency.
Accountability from leaders.
Right. For past misdeeds. And crucially, more opportunities for themselves.
In a nation where they often feel overlooked, underemployed, disenfranchised.
They want systemic change, not just superficial fixes.
And this connects right back to that broader, often turbulent picture of Nepal's history.
The long-standing issues.
Yeah, the country has, for a long time, been weighed down by significant corruption, chronic political instability.
Lack of economic opportunity, especially for the young.
Exactly. So this recent uprising, led by youth, sparked by a digital trigger. It's not just about the social media ban.
It signifies something deeper.
Potentially, yeah. A profound shift in the national conversation. This generation isn't just asking for minor reforms.
They want systemic change. Governance, economic policy, the works.
It could really mark a new trajectory for Nepal. You've got this more engaged, digitally empowered, increasingly vocal youth population demanding a fundamentally different kind of government.
More accountable leadership.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It really highlights how digital protests can amplify those long-standing grievances until they reach a critical mass.
So wrapping this up, what does this extraordinary sequence of events ultimately mean? For Nepal and for us watching, we've seen a young generation rising up using digital tools.
A government forced to change course under immense pressure.
And this new chapter dawning, led by Nepal's first female prime minister, Sushila Karki. It's truly a seismic shift.
What's fascinating here, I think, is how these events in Nepal echo global themes.
Yeah.
Digital activism, demands for accountability.
But still within Nepal's unique context.
Exactly. The road to those 2026 elections will be incredibly important, closely watched, not just inside Nepal, but internationally.
A test of democratic resilience and reform.
For sure. But beyond the immediate politics, think about this. What does the specific spark, a social media ban, combined with these powerful youth-led protests, tell you about how dissent and political change are evolving?
In our digital age, yeah.
And how might Nepal's unique path forward now, especially with its first female PM during this transition, how might that offer lessons?
Insights for other nations facing similar demands. Transparency, accountability, opportunity.
Exactly. It really encourages you, the listener, to reflect on the long-term implications, this pivotal moment. And what does it mean for democracy, for youth activism around the globe?
And how governments everywhere kind of have to adapt to this new reality, a citizenry that's digitally native and politically engaged.
It's a lot to think about. A really crucial moment for Nepal, and perhaps with lessons for us all.